For more content like this, log on to gibbopresents.com.
It's Gibbo, and right now I'm joined by Kalissa. Kalissa, how are you?
I'm good. I give thanks for having me, Gibbo.
As we speak, we are only a few days away from the release of Spellbound. So to start with, can you describe your mindset and thoughts for me as you await the release of your latest project?
I'm just ready, we've been through so many ups and downs, and just the whole creation process has been a good learning experience, to say the least. But it's just good. I'm excited for people to finally hear it. I'm a little tired of the music. It's been a few months, that I've been ready to get it out, but that's how it goes, as musicians, we have the chance to hear and listen and get tired of our music before anybody else even listens to it. But I'm very excited, for the world to hear it and to kind of hear what we've curated, because this whole entire project kind of has a particular sound. It's a little different than what I normally do. So I'm excited.
For me, Spellbound is one of those words where I think I know what it means, but if I had to give an actual definition, I would struggle. What does Spellbound mean to you?
Man, every day, I'm presented with a new meaning in my mind, just based off of the music. There is a large painting that the cover was based on. It was done by a renowned Jamaican artist called Nakaze Hutchinson. The painting is a little taller than me, I believe. And it's in my house. And every morning I wake up and I look at this painting and it speaks to me, like it gives me new meaning. Initially, when we chose the name Spellbound, it's from the title track. One of the tracks on the project are called Spellbound. And initially, it really was supposed to curate the idea of a woman coming to her full power and her full wisdom. And so, in there are many things that for me it represents. The idea of Spellbound is like roots and culture, self-awareness and self-knowledge, also spirituality, and the idea of magic, and especially as Caribbean people or even African people, sometimes the idea of magic is very it's looked at in a very negative way. It kind of, people see it as like black magic, or if you want to call it obia or whatever. And really, in essence, this is our connection to spirituality. And I think in some way, the musical aspect kind of explores the theme of magic through the dub and, the experiences. So Spellbound for me does mean many different things. And it kind of draws on different elements, on different themes. But in essence, it's really a woman kind of coming to her full power and her full wisdom of knowing, her self-worth. So, yeah.
I was going to ask you about the painting, which I believe has been digitized for the artwork. Can you tell me what the different elements in it represent or signify?
Sure. Well, there's an image of me holding an owl. The owl represents wisdom. And the owl, the white owl that you see in the image is also, it's a Jamaican owl, that you don't find anywhere else. So it's endemic to Jamaica. So that also draws on the element of the roots and the culture, and being grounded in Jamaican music. And then owl on a larger level, like in our dream state, for instance. It's said to represent wisdom. It's said to be a gateway to the spiritual realm as well. If you can see the painting, there's a gradient behind me of the sky. It has red, yellows, and greens in there, which is kind of representative of Rasta culture. I mean, then it kind of goes into the blues. But she purposely, the artist purposely puts an element of the red, yellow, and green in there to kind of curate the Rasta vibes in there. Obviously, there's an image of me which I don't actually see as me every day when I see the painting. It's almost a woman that I aspire to be in a way, because she does look so powerful and she looks so peaceful and calm. So yeah, it's maybe the aspiration of me, of the better person, that I'm trying to be every day. I also see my sisters in the painting. I'm one of four girls in my family. And I see different elements of all of them in there sometimes. So, as I said before, it's just a very powerful piece, where it's a woman holding this like very rare bird. People don't ever really get to come into contact with owls like that. So for me, it's like just very symbolic of, even if it's not like an actual owl that I'm holding, it's just a symbolism for wisdom and spirituality.
You said you've been working on Spellbound for some time. When did work on the project actually begin? And can you talk me through the process from start to finish?
Sure. So what year are we in? 2017. Okay. So I would say that we probably began when we first started working on some of these songs. We didn't have in mind that we're going to do a project. We just started working on some music with Natural High Music. First of all, it's a collaboration between my own label, Ambessa Music, and some really good friends of mine, Natural High Music. We grew up together, so it's very nice that we are able to work together in this way, in this musical way, and to produce something of such quality, So we were just working without any particular goal in mind. We knew that, we liked the sound that each other brought to the table and the collaboration that we had. We have very good musical chemistry. And so the first single from the project is Best Kept Secret, which we released 2015, I believe. Damn, has it been that long? Okay. 2015. And that was the first single. And then we continued to work on some more songs together and decided that we should just do our project because the sound is created nice, everything. So really how we've been doing it is they have some really nice rhythms that kind of have these very dubby elements in there, but still somehow is very diverse, So it will have like the hip hop drums. And I'm a very big fan of live music, so I found it necessary to bring some live elements in. And so basically we kind of took the compositions that they did and we just spot it up with music. So we have all different kind of horns players playing on it. There are live drums on a few of the tracks as well, live guitars, live bass. And so it just really brought the rhythm to life and made it gave it a lot more oomph, and a lot more personality, because we actually had more personalities involved rather than, just we sitting on and building the rhythm. Like, no, these were people bringing their musical skills and their musical knowledge to making the music bigger and better. And I think that's what's made this project so beautiful too, because we could have easily just, sing on some rhythm, which I think would have been nice. And that's kind of what ended up taking us so long is, pulling on these different elements and these different musicians to kind of create the sound that I guess we're looking for and the sound that we're exploring with. After we decided that we're going to work on a project, we were trying to figure out how we could mold and mend everything together. And we came up with the idea of doing transitions because, it's a very... as I said, the project kind of explores a woman coming to her self and self-awareness. And we're trying to figure out how we could kind of thread those ideas together from song to song, because otherwise it would just kind of seem like, just songs on a project. And so we started working on some transitions to thread the different songs and the different concepts together. And so there are some like mini songs as well, which in the future will also become full-length songs. So they're almost a preview to songs that I'll be releasing in the future as well, which is kind of a nice template. So it's a very what's the word I'm looking for? It's a very ethereal take on the concept, because I don't think off the bat what it really means, But I really do think that that's the beauty of any project or any music that people make, is that it's open to interpretation. You know, whatever Spellbound may mean to you or to another person might be different, you know. But the beautiful thing is, I think that everybody can find truth, you know, in the stories that I'm telling, in the music. Not everything is based on personal experience. A lot of it is based on my observation. I did all of the writing for the songs on the project. So it's just really just some reflection that I have, you know, some of it personal experience, some of it observing my environment and the people around me, and some of it just from straight imagination, you know, of themes and topics that I want to explore. So yeah, long process in the making, but here we are, release day, January 20th, and I'm very excited, and I'm interested to see how people interpret it, you know, and to how people consume the music as well. So yeah.
You launched Spellbound at the most recent edition of your annual show, Kalissa Live. What initially made you decide to put on and promote your own show, which I believe you have done 4 times now?
Yes, for 4 years in a row. So Jamaica is a very saturated market of very talented and awesome musicians and artists. And I find that, you know, especially as young artists, we don't necessarily always get the platform to showcase a full-length set, unless you're, you know, one of the top-notch, top-ranked artists in Jamaica. You know, you tend to get between like a 15 minutes and half an hour sets the most, you know, in my experience at least. That has been my experience. And so I was kind of craving a platform to showcase my music where I wasn't being restricted by time. I wasn't being restricted by, you know, the fact that another artist had to perform after me or before me. It was, I wasn't really restricted by having the different elements kind of influence my performance. So for instance, creating a show and creating an annual show just gives me the complete control and flexibility and creativity to kind of to present my music in a way. And so each year we kind of have a theme. Of course, this year was Spellbound, and we also tried to use the design of the space to kind of conjure those feelings of Spellbound. You know, incense burning, candles being lit, the lighting, of course the music, you know, to create it. And so it just really, Kalissa Live just really gives me a space to connect with my audience and my fans on a very intimate level, you know. And I have no time limits because I have the whole night to myself, the whole show. And it also gives me an opportunity to invite people who I want to be to share musically. So people who I have collaborated with, or people who want to share with me even spontaneously, is something that we do at Kelissa Live as well. And so it just gives me, you know, it gives me like a free up vibes where I can express my creativity without any limitation. And that's been a beautiful experience. Of course, it's a lot of work every year. You know, every year I'm like, why are we doing this? You know, and then of course we do the show and we're like, okay, that's why. You know, it's always worth it at the end of the show. So, and we're hoping to bring that that kind of template outside of Jamaica as well. So hopefully we can expand Kelissa Live beyond just being in Kingston every year, you know, something that we can maybe take on the road with us. We'll have different elements like tap dance, and, you know, it's just a very creative space. Something that you wouldn't normally be able to do in a 15 to 30 minute set on a festival, for instance.
You mentioned there's a lot of work involved, and I think a lot of people don't realize just how much goes into putting on an event like this. So, can you talk me through all the behind the scenes tasks you have to do? For example, I believe you've even designed all the flyers yourself?
Yeah. Yes. I have. I don't think I'm going to do that next year though, because that's very hectic. Flyers and tickets, of course. So, and, you know, we are very big on keeping our presentation on a level, you know. Of course, you want the flyers to look good. And I'm not a practicing graphic designer. I did it in school, and it's something that I love to do, you know, when I have free time, which is like never. So oftentimes when I'm going into that design process, I have to be relearning a lot of the skills that I that's maybe developed while I was in school. So yeah, that's one of the elements of it, is just design. And then you have the promotion, or promotion strategies predominantly on social media. That's where we can connect with our fans in the best way. And we do weeks and months of promotion, to get our fan base around there and to get people excited about it. Of course, rehearsals, that's, especially because, as I say, it's not a short set. Like now we're doing full length sets and beyond, so we're looking at like a 2.5, 3 hour show where, the musicians also get to showcase their talents beyond just me as a lead singer. We'll also try to include, for instance, this year, the harmonist and the percussionist in the band, they opened the set. And so that was really nice, for them to like share their individuality and their creativity beyond Kelissa music. So yeah, many different elements. I'm trying to think what else right now. I mean, it's getting the press there and just getting all of the elements from sponsorship. Yeah, there's all. I can't even think because I'm not in that zone right now. I'm like, what did we do again? How did we pull that off? But yeah, many different elements. And of course, we have a great team around us to help. It's a small core team, and so it does end up being a lot of work for each one of us, but it's always worth it in the end.
You often make some pretty thoughtful and motivational posts on social media. Are these based on personal experience and what's going through your head at a particular time? I would say it's personal experience, and not just directly related to me, but as I said, and this is also how I write music as well. It's just my observations, what might be going on in the world, what I might see friends or a sister or a brother be going through at a time, or generally just to be of motivation. I see my music as a space where I can reach out to people and inspire people and motivate them. And I think that I also approach my social media in that way, because I'm able to directly connect with fans and people that do listen to my music in a way beyond just, writing lyrics and writing melodies. Here's a chance for me now to reach out to people. And sometimes even I need the inspiration, and so writing is kind of in a way a therapy, to kind of lift up my vibes and bring me into a space, into a comfortable space and into a peaceful space. So I also really enjoy writing, outside of just writing music. I enjoy writing thoughts. I'm big on journaling. I have journals piled up just from writing and getting ideas, and it also helps to free up the space for me to write music as well. There's this exercise, I don't even remember what it's called, where when you have a writer's block, you just take a pen and a paper and you just write any words, any thoughts, and it doesn't even have to be cohesive, but just doing things like that really help to free up my creativity, especially while I'm creating music. So, but writing is something that I enjoy to do. I enjoy, studying and reading and exploring different topics, and, in some of those moments, I'll definitely... You have multiple family members who are involved in the music business. Does this make certain industry problems or frustrations easier to deal with, as you've got people close to you who understand what you're going through and who can offer advice?
Definitely. I love, predominantly Kes Namdi, my brother. There's certain experiences that he goes through that I learn from, and vice versa, experiences that I go through and he learns from. We're able to share contacts, but mainly we're able to share music, and that's the most beautiful part, is that we can connect on that level. Music business wise, it's such a vague thing. Like, there's no one way to do things. And it's interesting. Some things will work for my brother, for instance, that wouldn't necessarily work for me, and vice versa. So it's a very interesting thing, but it definitely helps to have a support system who really understand the level of commitment and work that it takes, to continue doing it, especially at an independent level. Neither of us are signed, but we're still doing it. We're still putting out music. We're still creating the art for it. My parents are also musicians, and it's very helpful to have their support and their understanding of what it takes, to continue to do this on a daily basis. I know that a lot of people enter music and, their families think they're crazy and that they need to go and get a real job. So it's just very empowering when you have people around you who not just understand by being in the music industry themselves, but also, are supportive, and will give you great feedback, not just tell you when something is good, but tell you when they think something can improve. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I think I'm very blessed to be in a position where my cousin right now is managing me. That's something that is just a very beautiful thing, because it kind of just brings us into a space where trust is not an issue, and we both really are involved and committed, in many ways. So, yeah, it's definitely a blessing in many ways. So I do give thanks for.
Before we finish, is there anything else you would like to mention or anyone you'd like to big up?
Well, I just encourage, one-on-ones who are tuning in to take in the project, and give me your feedback. I want to know what you think about it, how it makes you feel, what you think could be improved, what are your favorite elements of the project. This is the first time that I'm putting out a project since my first EP years ago. So it's been years in the making, even though there wasn't a specific focus on this definitively for the 4 years. Obviously, we've been doing other works and doing other releases, but it's very interesting to me. I'm interested to hear everyone's feedback. And of course, I also just want to send out, my love and respect for all of the supports that we've received thus far. And we're looking forward to the journey. We're definitely looking forward to touching base with our UK family. The UK has showed me so much love so far, and I'm really looking forward to being able to be there in a physical space, and directly being in touch, with everyone who has been so supportive. And lastly, give thanks, Gibbo, for this conversation and for this opportunity to talk to you and to reach more people. It's really truly an honor, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in the physical as well.
Spellbound, Kalissa's latest project, will be available via iTunes and Amazon on January the 20th. Be sure to go out and support good music. Kalissa, I wish you continued success, and thanks a lot.
You can also get it at KelissaMusic.com. You can order the physicals. That will be ready on the same Friday as well. So we're going to start selling physicals on that day from the website.
Gibbo presents